Start getting older here and memory's going, so
Sure.
thank
That's
you.
usually the second
Okay.
way to go.
Okay, so there's a motion, there's a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, 2009 sidewalk program pay request number one, final sub-concrete incorporation, $34,574.95. That is my motion.
I'll second it.
Questions on that? Alderman Roy Weston.
First, I'd like to, it's roughly about $1,000 cheaper here? Amount paid request is 34,571.
Yeah, correct. Little under 1,000.
Is there a reason? It's in our favor, so I'm not,
Probably what that is probably we estimated more for restoration. And most of the concrete contractors now are using the metal forms and they're tearing up almost nothing on the side. So if we assumed like a full row of sod on each side and they didn't have to do that, then that's a cost saving for us. And that's probably what this is. Because I know we replaced every square of sidewalk that we had planned and even some addition to that. So it was probably the restoration cost that was the savings.
okay. I don't know if anyone watched this company do the sidewalks around town. I think they did a very good job, so. When kids were riding on the sidewalk after the concrete was poured, they were out there scraping that out and back down to normal where it should be. And they were watching that pretty good, so I just want to give that, so, thanks.
Any other questions? Motion on the floor. Is there a second?
There is a second
I
already.
second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is report and recommendation, Stone Street Water Main Pavement Request Number 2, final R.A. McHugh, $80,383.90. That will be my motion.
Second.
Questions? Alderman Luton.
At one time, somebody was saying that the work wasn't done right at Stoneham. Is this the same one that was discussed? Matter of fact, that gentleman, Harvey in the back, was the one who was making the complaint about work on Stoneham.
No, that was the street replacement at one time, and I don't think this is a water main that was further down that had to be replaced because we had multi-breakage in that area.
So this is not the one that was complained about then?
No.
Thank you.
So there's a motion, there's a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Report and recommendation, Alley Improvement Program, pay request number 2, partial payment A, Lamp Construction, concrete contractor, $184,847.40. That is a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Questions? Alderman Police.
Dave, was there a punch list on this, and how far are they on that punch list? I know they can't pour concrete now, but
Right, there is a punch list. They've done a little bit of cleanup, but most of the punch list items have not been done yet. So they'll complete probably next year they'll complete those.
so basically the amount remaining on the contract plus the retainage is,
Is what
More
we'll
than-
be hanging on to, yes.
because we're basically gonna hold out about 52,000. So they only got about $20,000 worth of work, so we got double.
Yeah, probably, well, they probably just have a few $1,000s worth of work, so we would have plenty to cover that.
Okay.
Did they replace those cracked panels yet?
No, not yet.
So they didn't do that either. Okay. That is my motion. There is a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
I oppose. 2 oppose.
Who opposed?
Me and Joe, I believe, oppose.
Joe said.
I said that. Aye.
You said aye.
Okay, 1 opposed then. Yes. Item number 9, school street reconstruction payment number 5, MQ Construction Corporation, $241,024.54. That will be my motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Question, I have one question. Is punch list done on this?
The punch list is done. There is one work item that isn't done yet, which is the striping. And unless we get a major improvement in the weather, it's not going to be done until next year. So that would be the only item left.
The other questions are liquidated damage done to this project. What about that?
I think you're referring to the sanitary sewer repairs that had to be made.
I'm referring to the concrete in the sewer.
The concrete in the sewer, that would be, we do have the time that our crews spent cleaning that, and that would be a deduct we would make on the final invoice or on the final pay request.
Okay, so
So that's not reflected in this yet.
that's not reflecting this payment. Okay. Alderman Police.
Dave, I believe I asked you last week. One morning I saw city staff digging up on Wooddale Road. Where they were digging that morning was pretty much where we had, where they put in the new connection. Was that new connection faulty or did something else break? I don't know if it was you or maybe Wally I brought it up to, and whoever it was told me they would check on it.
It was on the Wooddale Road main, and it was near where the School Street main was. As far as I know, there was no connection to the project. I don't know if.
I
John,
believe
you
it
have
was the
any
opposite
information?
side of the road. That
No,
they
no,
didn't touch.
No, right there.
Oh, okay.
But I know that Wooddale Road main has had a lot of breaks in the past, and
Right, but I'm just curious. I know we just tapped in over there. Should have been brand new connection. We should have been good.
I know it wasn't right at the tap because it was a different patch.
It
So
was a
I'm
different-
assuming it had nothing to do with, that it was just a coincidence.
John?
I don't know if you want to check with the guys.
It was the Wooddale Road water main and not the School Street stub or connection. So it was further down. It was a circumference crack a few yards off of that. So probably no direct correlation to the tap or the work done by MQ for that tap. Its time, unfortunately, was just its time.
Just a coincidence that happened then. So I have a motion on the floor. I have a second. All in favor? Aye. Oppose?
Opposed.
Yep. Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, item consider future meeting, brush pickup, sanitation sewer overflow, basin, new pavement, design and additional road construction project, period of next year, construction season, solar power lights, new street lights, stormwater solutions. The other item that I will ask, John, maybe you can answer a question really quick. There was a concern about, one or two aldermen have asked about the beet juice. Could you tell us when that will be up and going?
I left a call with Monroe Truck Equipment today, who is our supplier for that beet anti-icing tank and application equipment, and they assure me that that tank's going to be in shortly. I'm told that that's a two-day installation on our current vehicle that Monroe will do as part of their contract for it. So I'm hoping that we'll have that equipment up and running right before Christmas. We wouldn't have used it in this most recent storm due to the cold temperatures and the blowing winds. We could have possibly used it before our first snowfall, but I think that even would have been a little dicey since it did come in as rain. It would probably just have wasted the product anyway. So really, we haven't missed the boat with any respect to environmental friendly beet juice yet.
Okay. And I will make one other comment. I was I'd like to make a comment with the water department. We did have a big water main break on Middle Drive, a 15-inch pipe that ruptured, which really flew a lot of water out there. I would commend the water department for quick action by shutting that down for we did not lose our water supply in our community. Alderman Police.
We got information only, a street leaf removal option. Since we're talking with Allied Waste or on the new contract, if we're gonna look at it, we should look at it before we sign that contract, because we might take some of the leaf pickups out that could reduce some of the cost on those, if we're gonna go this route. So
Well,
this
I would hope that
discussion
that would be,
should come up
right,
somewhere.
that should be discussed before they sign the contract. Right, I agree with that. Jeff, could you make a note of that, since Wally's not here? About the leave pickup that LI Waste, okay. All right, I make a motion to adjourn.
Wait.
Alderman Roy Wesley.
The Pine Tree Lane, the resurfacing over there, what company was that again?
R.W. Dunneman.
When is that coming back?
Probably January 14th.
Okay. Last time you gave us a warranty thing, it was only for like 3 little sections. My interpretation of the warranty was for the whole section, and I want to make some clarification on that. If that's what the council was thinking of, a warranty on that, could you clear that up?
Well, I know the warranty they gave were only for the specific addresses. I can ask them if they're willing to extend the warranty for the whole cul-de-sac for each of those.
That was my interpretation.
I think there were 3 cul-de-sacs in question.
I'd like to see if everyone felt the same way. Was it just three little sections?
3 areas.
So I guess we could do a follow-up on that then. I mean, it's,
I just don't want this come back in January 14th and
here's
there's
the old, do you recall?
a confusion here of
Go
what
ahead,
I
Nuzio,
thought.
please.
Yeah, we talked last week, Dave. I thought you were going to ask on the cul-de-sacs.
Yeah, I haven't gotten back anything from them yet.
Well, before
But
before it comes
we
to
meet
us.
again, I'll get an answer on
All
that.
right, so he'll get the answer for that. Okay. Okay, I made a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, I'll call the December 10th, 2009, it's not December 10th, huh?
December 10th.
December 10th, okay. 2009 Planning, Zoning, and Building Committee meeting to order. Will a minute taker please show all same members present? I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the October 22nd, 2009 meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Next item is a report and recommendation, pay request number 4 for FBG Corporation for the Metro Train Station Reconstruction Project in the amount of $338,088.47. My motion is to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Anything on the question? No? Then all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. The next item, a report and recommendation, Gulo International request for a variation extension. John, would you mind giving us a brief history on this and where we're at now and why we're here?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As noted in the memo, Gulo International came in requesting a variation for 2 items at 880 North Wooddale Road. Subsequently, the City Council did approve ordinance number 07041, allowing them to decrease a rear yard setback and to increase their lot coverage. This ordinance was passed December 6, 2007, and Section 3 of that ordinance did put a 1-year time limit on that for them to begin construction. They did apply for the permit within the time allotted. Plan reviews were done, but then at the end of 2008, I received a request from Gullo that they were, due to the time lag and getting some approvals from the state, they decided that they wanted to void the permit at this time because of the economic conditions. I did find in the file a copy of a letter that came in 08 requesting a 1-year extension. I can't really comment on what happened to that or why it was not followed up on, but they subsequently did not build in 2009. Now, we received another request in 2009 that I wanted to bring to council for you to consider granting them another year, reflecting back to that ordinance. I don't think it's any secret that with economic times the way they are, they've decided not to go forward with it at this time.
So we're looking for another 12-month extension, and if they wanted to make any changes to that variance request in that 12-month period, depending on the extremity of those changes, they'd be starting over from scratch. Really, any changes different from what they asked for back in 2007 and were granted. So this doesn't allow them to do anything different than what was approved. It's just,
Correct, yeah, they would have to
Extending.
comply to the original ordinance passed.
okay. I think Alderman Eugene Wesley, and then,
Is this 880 North Wooddale, or is that it used to be the Dish
Network,
Place
correct.
Network? My question here is he definitely going to go through with this work? Or is this,
I haven't
a drag
spoken
on
to Mr. Gullo directly, but again, we did receive this letter from Mark Dudek, that is, who's in charge of his development programs and projects, requesting the additional time. I would have to anticipate a lot is going to depend on what happens with the economy in the next 6 to 8 months.
or my question is he waiting for a tenant to get in there and then come back again after next year?
I really can't comment on his motivations.
Okay.
Alderman Coles?
Mr. Gullo has been very good to the city of Wooddale, and I think personally that we should give him the extension. He's been, he donated to the train station. He's done good work. He's built some awful nice-looking buildings, and he's done a lot of good work for the city of Wooddale, and I think an extension, 1-year extension that he's asking, he should get it. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Alderman Coles. Alderman Police, did you have anything?
Yeah, I think when these motions were made back then, there was some aesthetics out in front, as far as some shrubs or whatever, plantings. That'll all be, because I didn't see any of that in this extension, so I would imagine those maybe should be dug up, whatever it was. Because things could get lost 3 years from now.
No, my assumption would be whatever the parameters were that had to be complied to in the variations would stand.
Right, but I'm just saying to find the copies of those parameters
We
3,
have
4 years
copies.
from now.
Yeah.
You have him here, right in the yard.
No, they weren't on here. Okay.
Anybody else? Okay, and I'll make the motion to approve the variance extension. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed. One opposition. All right, the next item is a report and recommendation, right development request for approval of minor changes to the architectural features to the Wooddale Station condominium PUD. We've gotten the packet, we've seen the two alternates. I'm going to let John take it from here, and then I think we have a guest who has a presentation as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I'd like to defer. Mr. Kevin Thornton is here from Wright Development. Kevin is Vice President of the Development and Construction arm of Wright Development, and he has a short presentation. So I'll turn it over to him, and then we can answer any questions you might have.
Maybe hard to see right now, but if you can pull that up.
It's being broadcast.
Hi, again, my name is Kevin Thornton with Wright Development Group. We are the developers of Wooddale Station. What we are asking for is some slight alterations to the initial approved elevations on buildings 2 and 3, and also a slight change in building 1. What we're requesting in building 1 is the adding of a standing seam metal hip roof throughout the entire building and on the attached garage that would be on the first floor. We think that obviously this gives it a more of a prairie-style architectural look, but more importantly, it gives the people who would purchase the fifth and sixth floor condominium units some cover over their condominiums. We've been open now for over 2 years, and we've sold 0 units on the fifth floor and 2 units on the sixth floor. And one of the problems we have, especially on our empty nest buyers, they don't necessarily want to walk out onto a patio that's not covered by either a roof and or walls. So what we're looking to do is add this roof on all 3 buildings. We think it's more an architectural style that's really probably should have been done initially, but we are going back to revisit that. Again, on building 2 and 3, we're looking to add that, and the height would be no more than the 65 feet that we have right now. This is actually not a full roof that won't go all the way up to a hip. It's actually more of a facade to create cover for the perimeter of the building. But more importantly, it changes the architecture slightly, more of a prairie style, but gives that cover. In building 2 and 3, we're also looking to extend the brick line of the first floor. As you see on building 1, it only goes up to the 4th floor. The 5th and 6th floor condominium balconies are hanging. They're not hanging by the rods that are there. They're actually cantilevered, but the impression that, especially like I said, some of our empty nesters have is it's hanging there by a couple of rods. They don't feel like going out there. So what we're looking to do is extend the decks up on buildings 2 and 3 all the way to the 6th floor, so they're covered in brick. The item 4 that we're looking for is a reduction in the overall colors to 6. Right now, in building 1, we've got a lot going on out there. We've got 3 different brick colors, a Renaissance stone, and we're looking to add another color with the brick as well, or I'm sorry, with the roof, as well as the windows on the first and second through 6th floor, and also the balcony railings. We're looking to do is incorporate the colors that we have in building 1 in buildings 2 and 3, but to simplify it a little bit. And again, it more mimics the prairie style. The brick cost is nominal. It's really a matter of trying to simplify the design so it's more of a prairie style rather than having 7, 8 different colors going on this. Item 5, which can't really be seen in this, but would be coming out in the architectural plans, is covering part of our vehicle ramp that goes down to the underground garage with precast concrete, so we can create a garden area that's a little bit larger than what we have right now. We don't have a lot of green area at all in building 1. We're very, very tight on that. Building 2 and 3, we get a little bit more, but we're trying to create more of a garden area that, again, some of our potential customers and residents have been requesting. And then the last item that we're asking is buildings 1, 2, and 3, just an addition of attached covered parking garages. Again, we are not changing anything in the original design of as far as the parking capacity. We're just covering some of the parking. When we initially started the project, we actually had a shortage of covered parking for residents. So we're trying to rectify that and also add a few covered parking spots for people who might want to add a second vehicle rather than leaving it out on a night like tonight. I guess as far as our timeline goes, what we're planning is if we have this approved, we'd like to start the roof work for building 1 in the spring of 2010 as soon as the weather would allow, so we can and permits are issued, so we can do that work. Build the attached garage for building 1. We have a commercial dumpster screen to build and some fencing along the south property line. We'd finish all that work and then go ahead and add our last lift of asphalt on the parking lots. One reason we're holding off is because the lift work and the cranes that we'd have to use out there would tear our asphalt that we have out there right now, which is a 1.5-inch binder. So our goal is to do this work in the spring, and then by May or June at the latest, depending on issuance of permits and the weather, we'd be able to go ahead and do that work. As far as the start of building 2 and 3, again, economic conditions are what they are right now, and one thing that we're looking to do is change our marketing and get this out there so we can actually show a different type of design. And we're looking at different customer bases. And primarily, we're looking at international companies who right now buy homes in the Elk Grove area and put their executives up. Wooddale is a actually, we think it's a better alternative to that. And we've had some international companies who are very interested in putting their executives up in a condominium close to the train station, as we have in Wooddale, and that's so close to O'Hare also. But before we start that marketing, we do want to get our elevations changed, and we are looking to also possibly, if we can make the numbers work, do LEED certified buildings 2 and 3, which I've done one LEED platinum building and one LEED gold building. They are not easy to do, but a certified building is easier to do, and larger companies really look for that. That's a way for them to help with their marketing, stuff like that. So that's really all we have right now for the changes that we're looking to do. Like I said, but we do have another alternative. Can you change, or can I access this or not? I can't.
Which one you want?
To 2. And the second, that's okay. The second alternative, if people are opposed to the elimination of one of the brick colors, was to go ahead and keep all 3 brick colors in the buildings 2 and 3. Again, what we did in buildings 2 and 3 is we created a very strong horizontal line using the Renaissance stone from the first floor up between the 4th and 5th floor. That would be about 3 widths wide, which is 24 inches wide. We carry that all the way through the actual patios of the 5th floor. So it creates kind of a walled area, so those people have a little bit of a benefit. But keep the horizontal lines without adding the aluminum crown molding that's currently in building 1. That is really not in keeping with the style, but more importantly, it's a maintenance issue also.
Well, I personally thank you for the presentation. I'm excited that there's the potential for some new activity on this stagnant site. I appreciate your firm's desire to try to incorporate some prairie style elements, and I love what you said about leads. I love what you said about corporate housing. I personally am okay with everything you're asking for, with the exception of what you're trying to do with the brick. I'm sure it's personal taste, but the most important element of prairie style is a very strong horizontality. And you have 3 of the taller buildings in Wooddale next to each other with very, very similar basic designs. And you lose the horizontality of the 3 of them working together by changing what you've done with the brick elevations on the first floor. So I don't want to get into critiquing your design so much, although that's kind of the direction I'm going. You're asking for variances, and I'm just saying that, obviously the general consensus up here rules, but I'm not convinced that the other 2 buildings look more prairie style, with the exception of what you're doing with the roof, which is great. In fact, what you're doing by enclosing those patios, which I think is probably critical to one of your sales issues that you're having, makes them look more vertical. And I'm just really afraid of losing the horizontal feel of all 3 buildings looking the same and tying together. So that's my say as an architectural designer, and I'll drop that issue, and I'll open up the floor to any other questions, unless you want to respond to what I've mentioned. I mean, you talked about the brick cost isn't a big difference one way or another. And as far as the physical elements you're putting up there, it's just aluminum crown is a maintenance issue. But beyond that, I don't know if you've got any other economic reasons or any other maintenance reasons, or if your chief architect really thought this looks more prairie style. So,
Well, he did. He's actually built some prairie style homes, which I did not bring those before. But what we're doing though is like I said, on the aluminum, instead of having aluminum as that horizontal band, we're using the Renaissance stone, which is actually more money from a material standpoint, but the long-term maintenance is significantly different. Because you have caulk joints at the aluminum. Aluminum expands at a lot greater rate than the brick does. So that's constantly pulling away from the wall. We've already had to just recaulk it, and it's only been 2 years. We want to create a building that really is as low or non-maintenance on the exterior as humanly possible. So that's one. Again, we want to keep that gray, that light gray color for a horizontal line, but just eliminate the white aluminum. And the other thing, we've had some people complain that the aluminum rattles in the wind. And no matter how well you install aluminum, it's going to rattle in the wind. So what we're doing is taking that away, putting in masonry. Like I said, from a cost standpoint, it's actually more money. But we think it's going to look better, but we think more importantly, it's going to be a much better maintenance and issue on it.
Oh, I completely agree with you. I just wonder if you would be opposed to keeping that same, the same brick
Like we have
spacing,
in this-
like you have in the first
Okay.
one, and changing your Renaissance stone, changing to the Renaissance stone from the aluminum that you're having issues with. Once again, that's only my recommendation as a single member of this council, and I would want to know if anybody else feels the same way before we move forward. Because I'm all set to make a motion to approve with that change. Alderman Police?
Can I see the first slide again?
I know how to do this. Can I click it back? Oh, he's doing it.
Wrong way. You got a picture of it right there.
So basically, in the last two buildings, the bottom brick goes all the way up to the fourth floor.
Well, actually, in the next two buildings, we have the lower level is still Renaissance stone. That is still there. Just the second, third, and fourth floors are the red brick color, with the fifth and sixth floors being the lighter color. We've eliminated the dark brown color. But we've kept the Renaissance stone on the lower level, as well as the Renaissance stone horizontal line between the fourth and fifth floors. And you really have to look at both of them back and forth a couple times to realize what the difference is. And we just have eliminated the darker brown color.
And show me where this aluminum is that we're talking about.
In building one, right now, if I can use the arrow. Building one currently, this line right here is actually white aluminum, crown mold. And also there's a white aluminum crown molding at the top that it will be eliminated with this roof. Okay.
That's all I had.
Alderman Winger?
All right, I'm sorry. This line right here is currently an aluminum crown molding, as well as there's aluminum crown molding at the top here that would be eliminated no matter what we do with this roof situation. But what we're looking to do right now, the horizontal line in building one is this white aluminum. What we're looking to do in building 2 and 3, you can't even really tell it here, but that would be actually Renaissance stone to match the first floor.
Thank you. Alderman Winger, I think you had a question?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to know what the covered parking is going to look like.
It's going to be Renaissance stone, a one-story with the with the Renaissance stone here on the ends of the buildings, as well as the roof would be the same as we have on building 1.
Okay, thank you.
And on the site, where is that located, as long as we're talking about?
That is at the end of building 1 and building 2, and on the far end of building 3.
Okay, thank you.
So it's currently parking that's planned for there now. It's just covered. What we're planning to do is cover it.
Okay. Alderman Coles?
I gotta thank them for coming in. That's been a spot that people have complained, when are they gonna build 2 and 3? And as far as I'm concerned, Anytime he wants to start building, build. And to redo the front building, that would be a good idea too, because I think it needs it. So as far as I'm concerned, you gotta go to okay by me.
If everything would have worked out like it was, like it should have, we would be done with Building 3 right now.
Alderman Shockey.
Mr. Thorne, you mentioned certified as being an important point in renting or leasing or selling these units. What does that mean?
There are different levels of LEED, which is Leadership in Energy and Efficiency Design. And what it does, it incorporates green construction using recycled materials, for example, and using high efficiency windows for energy efficiency, furnaces, et cetera. There's different rates, different ways to go about it, but one of the things that we're looking at, for example, instead of using oak floors, using bamboo floors, which are renewable. Oak trees get cut down, it takes them years to grow, bamboo grows quickly, it can be redone. So we're looking at different things like that. Mainly from an efficiency standpoint, it helps with people's bills, utility bills, but like I said, we do see a market for it, especially as larger corporations. They want that LEED certification. One of the first jobs I did was with NutraSweet that was bought out by Monsanto at the time, and they said, we want to do something that's LEED certified. And it's very important to them on a global level to be looked at as a green.
And one more thing, and you said you'd like to cover part of the parking?
Yes, only on the ends of buildings 1, 2, and 3, there are currently 7, 8, and I believe 6 spots that are outdoor parking right now. We're looking to actually cover that with a garage. Because as people here probably don't remember, when this place was first put together, we actually had a shortage of parking spots underground, 2 units. It's pretty hard to sell a condominium in Chicago and tell people they have to park out on a parking lot and walk in on a night like